Okay, keep an eye on your honey mixture back here because we do not want that to overflow. I'm going to show you up close before we put it in. Everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm so glad that you clicked on this video. My name is Amanda, and today I am making a honey garlic salmon. Yeah, yum. I've got a gorgeous looking piece of salmon today, and I'm going to show you how to make a very quick sauce. And there's my Instapot. I already had the rice cooking, and the thing I love about doing rice in the Instapot is that it can just stay over there and stay warm while I'm making the rest of my dinner, if it ever stops beeping at me. Anyway, my favorite thing about cooking fish this way is that we're going to pan sear the bottom, and then we're going to put it under the broiler to finish off. That means no flipping, and no flipping fish means that fish isn't going to fall apart on you, and you can actually serve whole fillets to your family. So let's get started. All right, to start, we are going to just season up this salmon really quick. And one thing that I also like about this recipe is, or method I guess, is that you don't have to marinate the fish ahead of time. I mean, I like fish or any kind of protein that's been marinated all day long, but this sauce is so flavorful. It's gonna be good even without marinating. So I'm adding some salt and pepper and garlic powder. This is just really simple. Salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and some paprika. And then we're gonna get it over there in the skillet. Ooh, the garlic. This salmon, I'm going to cook with the skin on. I like the skin. It also helps protect the fish in the skillet as you're cooking. So even if you choose not to eat the skin, if you cook it with the skin on, it makes the cooking a little bit easier. And that was garlic powder, and then this is the onion powder. I don't know if I said that backwards a while ago. So I'm being pretty liberal with my seasonings. You know, I don't use measurements. I'm just eyeballing, and I'm getting good coverage. And then I'm going to just kind of like pat it down, make sure that it gets onto the surface of the fish really good. And then we can come over here and make our sauce. One thing I'm gonna do is back here in this back corner, I have my cast iron skillet. I'm gonna move that to the front in a bit, but I wanna preheat it. So I've got it on medium back there, and don't worry, I'll move it around. And I'm also going to preheat my oven to get it to broil. So preheating my cast iron skillet, preheating my oven, and now I've got a saucepan here that we're gonna make the sauce in. I've got almost a whole stick of butter. I used the rest of the stick to make my rice. So I think there's 8 tablespoons in a stick, and I probably used a tablespoon and a half or so in my butter. So the rest of it, again, I'm not really big on measurements here. So I live in the Pacific Northwest. My honey was a solid block in my honey jar. I got this honey from some kids selling it on the side of the road. That's a thing up here in the Pacific Northwest. It was really awesome. Instead of a lemonade stand, they actually had a honey stand, and they were selling honey from their local beehives. So it was fresh honey, fresh raw honey will get turned solid at room temperature if it gets cold. So I actually put this whole jar down in some boiling water so that I could get enough to pour. So I'm gonna use about 1/4 cup and maybe a little bit more. Okay. Whew. It's kind of hard to measure it out when, see, the part of it didn't melt all the way through, but I got enough to be able to use. All right, now if you're gonna use a garlic press, I always use extra garlic than I would normally because the garlic press steals some of your garlic. So we're gonna press in some garlic, a bunch of garlic, as much as you think that you will like. I like a lot, so I've got what, 6 cloves here. So I've been filming, and every time I film, I'm like, it's a beautiful sunny day here in the Pacific Northwest. It's been a very strange spring because, you know, mid-April and it's been sunny, but today is a true Pacific Northwest day. It is, I've got every single light on this house trying to get enough light to film by because it is gloomy and rainy today. All right, I'm gonna turn this on to low. You see me hesitating because I still haven't memorized which burner goes to which. We've been in this house for like 6 months now. One of these days I'll have it. All right, basically now what we wanna do is melt this butter and the honey and the garlic. Well, we're not gonna melt the garlic, but we're gonna cook the garlic. And I'm going to add some soy sauce. My husband says I say soy sauce wrong. Soy sauce. I've been saying it wrong my whole life though, so I really try. And I'm gonna use lime juice, but you can also use lemon juice. And this is lime juice, not from concentrate. And a couple tablespoons of that. And then salt and pepper. Salt and pepper. Oh, not too much salt because we do have the soy, which is also salty. So basically we want this to melt and it's gonna reduce a little bit. So I'm gonna move it back to this back burner and then move my cast iron skillet up. So let me do some switching around here. I'm just gonna stir this every once in a while. I'm still letting this get pretty hot. I had it on my really small burner on medium so it didn't get too hot while I was mixing up that sauce. I've got Brussels sprouts going behind me in my toaster oven as my vegetable for tonight, roasted Brussels sprouts. And now we got our salmon fillets. So once this gets hot, we're gonna put down some, I'm using olive oil. You could also use some avocado oil. And then we're gonna, again, I'm just feeling the temperature of my skillet. When you can feel the heat radiating up your hand, then you'll know it's really hot. Also, when the oil starts to shimmer like that, we're good, because we want that sizzle. And we don't want to overcrowd our pan. And once we get them in there, you don't want to move them, especially if you're going to eat the skin, because that skin will get nice and crispy, but if you move it around, it won't give it a chance to crisp up. Okay, keep an eye on your honey mixture back here because we do not want that to overflow. That would be a major mess. So I've got it on low now. And we're gonna let these salmon cook. That'll give our sauce back here a chance to reduce. And we'll pour the sauce over the salmon and finish it off in the broiler. Like I said, this is like such an easy dinner. All right, actually, I'm gonna add some scallions to this sauce too. So let me go grab some, okay? Yay, my herb garden is doing good. So I actually had some chives growing out in my little backyard herb garden. So instead of green onion, I'm using these chive tops. And I'm just gonna cut them. This pan is kind of splattering a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and lower the heat a little bit. All right, give that a stir again. And you can see it hasn't quite thickened up yet. Go ahead and raise the temperature again because I'm gonna keep an eye on it. And lower this one. Double kind of check on them. Yep, they're looking good. All right, we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes and I can feel the sauce starting to thicken. It takes a while. So You just want to keep stirring it and adjusting your temperature so that it doesn't boil over. I'm also watching the line. I turned my salmon back up a little bit because you can kind of see the cook line of how it's cooking up from the bottom. You want it to be about halfway cooked or so before we put it into the broiler. All right, yeah, you can see this is now thickening up. This is one of my daughter Izzy's favorite ways to eat salmon. I haven't made it this way in a long time. Today has just been a very laid back Saturday. I've been working on my crochet. I'm making this doll, and so I've got the headless doll right now. Isn't it cute? I'm making it for my niece, but I worked on the skirt today. All right, I'm gonna turn this off, both of them. And you can see now that this has definitely gotten thicker than when we started. And so I'm going to pour it over the salmon. The salmon's gonna finish cooking off in this sauce. All right, so we're gonna stick it in the oven. Let me show you up close before we put it in, and then I'll show you when we're done. So we wanna check on it, and in order to do that, you kind of just reach in and pull your fork, and you can still see it's a little bit raw in there, so we're not done yet. I have this on a low rack. I didn't put it right up under the broiler because I didn't want it to burn. So I pulled it out to check on it one more time. It's almost there, but it wasn't quite. So I pulled out a thermometer and checked, and it's 140, and we need to get it to at least 145. But because my tops were starting to get a little bit darker than I wanted, I went ahead and turned off my oven, and I'm just letting the residual heat of the oven finish cooking it, because like I said, it's just a few degrees off. I'm gonna let it cook in there for a little bit longer, and then we'll pull it out. Oh look, there's Magic sitting on her little loft spot. There's Watson, hoping that he gets some dropped food. All right, I pulled the salmon out of the oven. It's actually now closer to 152, but it looks beautiful. I'm gonna plate it up, and I will show you the finished result. Hey, I wanted to pop back on here. We just finished eating dinner, and oh my gosh, was it ever incredible. I took a bite of that dinner, and I was just like, oh, so good. So this is definitely a dish that you need to put on your menu. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit that subscribe button. I'm really working on growing this channel, and so that I can keep making more and more of these food videos, and that we can visit